$95 up to $250 in emergency allotments in the form of SNAP benefits, otherwise known as food stamps or sometimes referred to as EBT. Some shocking findings have come out recently, and I want to share that with you here in the video. Let's get into it and talk about what's going on. First off, can I ask a huge favor of you? Please make sure to like the video with the big thumbs up button right down below. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your support. Also, if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to join the community by hitting the subscribe button right down below the video. Again, 100% free to do so. Thanks so much for being here. I really do appreciate your support, and let's get into it and talk about it. All right, now first off, do you remember a couple years ago when they had hundreds of dollars going out every single month to SNAP beneficiaries, about 40 plus million people, in the form of emergency allotments? Do you remember this? Yeah, obviously. Of course you remember this. Do you also remember how painful it was after that when they reduced and removed the emergency allotments? Yeah, exactly. I think we all remember that one as well. But for a long time there, for about a year, year and a half or so, for a lot of beneficiaries out there, you were getting anywhere between $95 and $250 on the very high end on top of your regular monthly benefit, which was very, very good for a lot of people. And here's the thing. It was most painful. It was most impactful when they ended that and they said, sorry, no more emergency allotment. You're going back to your regular monthly benefit. Well, at that time, we saw food insecurity go way through the roof. It shot up massively because basically people have no money. The price of food has gone up massively, has gone up a ton as we've seen food inflation over the last few years here. And we continue to see that there is still massive food insecurity all across the entire country. Super sad situation. And again, I know this is a fact for a lot of people here in this community. The reason that I know that is I've seen the comments down below. I can't tell you how many times I've seen comments down below saying something along the lines of, yeah, I eat one meal a day, or I eat one meal every other day, or whatever it happens to be, because basically food prices have gone up so incredibly high. SNAP benefits obviously have not kept up with all that. And as a result, we don't have the money for it. So what do people do? Basically, they cut back on their food consumption. So, sad situation. But what they continue to find is that during the time, huge shock, that during the time that the emergency allotment was going out, there was less reliance on food pantries and things like this. Obviously, that's pretty self-evident right there, right? But when the emergency allotment expired and actually went away, then they found that, wait, the reliance on food pantries actually went up significantly. Wow. That's surprising. Didn't realize that would be coming, right? Yeah, obviously, we know that that's going to be the situation when they take away hundreds of dollars a month from beneficiaries, and then you have to go back and try to, go from 1 month having, maybe, a couple $100, and then going back the next month, going back to a regular monthly benefit, and it's a third of that or whatever. It's a very small amount. So it's kind of a tough situation. But they continue to find that, guess what? Because of the emergency allotment, these beneficiaries were way better off. Obviously, just very easily put here. But then, as a result, now we have all this food insecurity across the entire country. In fact, because of the emergency allotment that we had during that time, we actually completely prevented an all-out, like a full-blown food insecurity crisis in this country because of the emergency allotment. That's what they're saying. Now, we could have had it way worse, right? If they never would have implemented the emergency allotments for SNAP beneficiaries in the first place, it would have gotten way worse. Don't get me wrong. It's a bad situation still, but it would have been way, way, way worse, according to what they're saying, if the emergency allotment was never in place in the first place. But basically what's happened is ever since it expired, depending on which state somebody was located in, but it expired, as early as 2021. Some states extended it out into 2022, but for the most part, it basically expired at that time. And then, of course, the Public Health Emergency Declaration, when that ended back in 2023, a bunch of states ended that as well, and a bunch of things happened during that time. But here's the situation. One thing that they're not really looking at is, okay, maybe we don't need to call it an emergency allotment these days, because it's not really, maybe it's not an emergency necessarily. But the problem is, one thing that they're not telling us is that, have we looked at food prices lately, right? This is another situation that I think all of us here who are actually we're out shopping, we're looking at real prices, we're looking at finances of our households, things like this. This is something that everybody's impacted by and that you're seeing on a real life basis, right? Food prices have increased massively, so much more than what they're actually telling us. Now, here's the thing as well. If you're a SNAP beneficiary, on October 1st, you got your COLA. How much was your COLA? For SNAP benefits, by the way, not other benefits. It was 0.2%. Zero. It's zero. That's just what it is. I mean, I keep saying zero because that's literally kind of what it comes down to be. For the maximum household allotment is what I'm saying by that. I know that some people got more than that if they were getting less than the maximum household allotment, but the maximum household allotment went up $1 for a household of one. That's it. That's not going to cut the difference here. That's not going to make the difference between having enough food on a monthly basis and not, right? So kind of an interesting situation. I like these kinds of reports that come out like this and highlight and say something like, hey, remember the provision we had a few years ago called the emergency allotment and how beneficial and how good that was for the beneficiaries? And now that they took it away, can you see how bad it is? I like these types of reports because it's very polarizing. We can very clearly see, hey, it was really good here and it was really bad now, right? So then it kind of gives us this contrast like, hey, look at this. Is anybody waking up out there? Hello, lawmakers. Does anybody pay attention to this information and say, wow, look at that. We can clearly look at the statistics. We can look at the charts here. The percentage of households who are suffering from food insecurity between, say, early 2020 and say, early 2023, give or take a little bit. What percentage of households were having, food insecurity issues during that time versus early 2023 until say 2025, right? Obviously, it's not 2025 as I film this video right now, but you get my point here. I think we would see a massive shift in the chart and the statistics showing just how many people are suffering from food insecurity as a result. Can that make sense? Anyway, I like these kinds of reports because it shows very clearly the contrasting difference between it was then this, or it was this then, and it's this now. The difference is here. I don't know. Again, tough situation we're living through right now. Prices have gone up so much on everything, but yet we continue to see it's not reflected in those benefit increases as beneficiaries actually need. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about it. We just kind of have to take it and, pretend like this is the reality when we all know better. It's not, right? Anyway, I just wanted to share this report with you really quickly. I found it to be very fascinating, very interesting, very helpful. I like to share this stuff with you just so you can see what's going on in the reports that are being discussed out there and what's being released so we can clearly see what's going on. Anyway, I hope this helps you to some degree. Again, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Just want to do whatever I can to help you out right now, keep you informed, point out anything that's going on right now. Such a busy time. Anyway, please subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. Like the video as well with the big thumbs up button down below. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Otherwise, check out the other videos here on the channel. The thousands in the video library. 5,000 plus videos there. The ones I've hand selected for you down below in the description or the top of the comment section. Check those out. Otherwise, right now showing up on your screen as well, you'll see some videos there. Thanks again. Really appreciate your support. Have a nice day. Take care, and I'll catch you again later in the next video.